So we would like to welcome everybody back here today with our special guest, Lieutenant Bill Adams. Lieutenant, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I really appreciate you being here on the podcast with us as we get ready to spread some more information to our viewers that get a chance to watch our show. But if you will, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your career path here at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
All right. I'm born and raised here in Augusta, Georgia. I graduated from Westside High School. November 15th will be my 30th year on the department.
All right.
I started out at the jail at 401 Walton Way and with the road patrol, became a corporal. From corporal, I went to traffic division to hit and run, and then promoted my way up to lieutenant, where I was a zone lieutenant for about 5 years. Now I'm over in the traffic division, where I'm the traffic division commander. I've been doing that for a little over 8 months now.
Okay, yeah. So, I definitely want to let everybody know this is one of my command staff members, my teammate. So we sit on the same board with the sheriff. That way that we are able to get the information that we need to get out throughout the agency to our employees. But you talked about traffic. You've had a lot of experience there, and you now are the division commander over the traffic division. Tell us a little bit about what the traffic division does.
The traffic division here has a lot of responsibilities. We handle everything from private property accidents to fatality accidents. We also work traffic enforcement. We run and work with the tow companies for the record list. We also help with community activities, parades, any special type event that's occurring, the Masters.
Right.
There are a lot of outside activities to include Fort Gordon if they need assistance or they're putting on some type of event. The traffic division is usually the one that helps plan and organize these events, and we have a lot going on other than just out on the streets running traffic.
Right, and I know that you talked about certain events. I know that y'all were at Fort Gordon Safety Day with the soldiers that were out there. I know that y'all put them through different things out there that dealt with, like the drunk goggles, seeing how they react when they're behind the wheel and their vision's impaired. So I know the most recent one that y'all were involved with was Kids and Cops.
Right.
Yeah, and that's an event that comes through my division, but I definitely appreciate you and the guys being out there, taking a part, and engaging with those kids, and I know that they enjoyed each and every part of it. But the one thing I always hear when it comes down to the traffic division, like if I'm out and citizens come up to me or family members, they'll be like, I know y'all got that, 1 or 2 days where y'all out just writing tickets and trying to generate revenue for the agency. And so I want to ask you, is that true?
That's not true. We don't receive any revenue from our tickets that we write. It goes to the state. Any citations that are written, all that stays within the state. It's not like we receive any of it ourselves. And our guys are out there not to write tickets, and we're just there to get the voluntary compliance, to have people slow down, to not use their hands, be distracted by using their phones. We're trying to stop the major accidents and the fatality accidents, and just trying to educate people more than it is trying to punish people.
Right, and I'm glad that you said that, because education, that's something that's very big to Sheriff Roundtree when it comes down to not only his employees but us educating the community when it comes down to certain divisions here at the agency. So how do you go forth when you are trying to educate certain drivers who may be involved in accidents or committing certain traffic violations? How are you and the division going about that?
When we first started with the hands-free, we gave a good period of time that we issued just warnings. Okay. And there's still occasions where people will just forget and pick up their phone because it's a natural instinct. Right. So we are issuing a lot of warnings for that, and it's not a primary citation that we're going to write. We're out. We'll warn them. We'll give them the spill of how easily this distracted driving can cause an accident, even a minor accident of running off the road. could turn out to be even worse. So we kind of push towards the more of a re-education than, like I said, the punishment. We just want them to know they need to put the phone down, wait till they get home, and that call can wait.
So what about when it comes down to seat belts? How are we educating our vehicle operators in regards to their own safety? Not only their own safety, but people who may be traveling with them about the importance of a seatbelt. How are we educating them?
And a seatbelt stop is a stop that is an easy stop to make, and it's usually a verbal warning or maybe a written warning, just to let the people know that, we're out there and we're watching. We need you to have these seatbelts on. This is something that'll save your lives. The 12, 13 years I've worked accidents, I can't remember one that the driver would have been saved if he had his seatbelt on.
Right.
There's that 1 in a million chance, but most of the time the seatbelts will save your life.
Yeah, absolutely. How are we going about educating our pedestrians? Because I know we have accidents that involve pedestrians where they're struck. How are we educating them in regards to the clothing that they wear, the side of the road that they may walk on for their own safety?
Yeah, and we make contact when we do see a violation by pedestrians. We do make contact with them and explain to them that they need to cross at the crosswalks.
Right.
Roads like Washington Road, Wrightsboro Road, 25 at Bobby Jones, Peach Orchard Road, Highway 56 are extremely busy. And with multiple lanes of traffic, the driver is not able to see somebody dart from either left or right from them. Yeah. And they're not paying attention for a pedestrian to be on that roadway. So we try to educate them by crossing at the crosswalks. If they are out in the evening time, have a light, flashlight, your phone light on, some type of vest, something highly visible. It really makes a difference when you're walking in the evening.
Absolutely. So since you have been in the traffic division or the division commander, how many accidents are you seeing per month?
We average between 800 and 1,000 accidents a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a lot.
we have quite a few. We keep the body shops in working well, but yes, it's between usually 800 to 1,000 a month. Between 10 and 12,000 a year, depending on how it goes. And some months are worse than others. You think on rainy days we have more wrecks, but it's usually the day after it rains that we seem to have the wrecks. People kind of lose that cautious driving and try to speed up, and we end up having more wrecks.
Roads are dry.
Exactly.
They got a clear path. Yeah, I definitely can see that.
Right.
So what are some of the issues that you and the traffic division are facing?
Usually the biggest issue that we run across now with dealing wreck is distracted driving. And it may not just be your cell phone, your passenger, your kids in the back seat, your mind just daydreaming to a song. We recently had a wreck up on Gordon Highway where the guy had just kind of zoned out.
Okay.
And you see him just right through the cars because he just wasn't distracted by anything else. He just kind of zoned out on his drive and wasn't paying attention that the traffic in front of him had stopped. But that's the biggest thing. Speed, a close second. People dress in a hurry to get nowhere, in a hurry to get home. Take that extra time, get there safe. There's no use in rushing to get home just so you can sit down in your chair and watch TV or get dinner ready. If you don't make it there, you're not doing anybody any good.
And you're right, because I have my children, and they can be distracting because they may want the radio station changed, or the little one may be wanting a toy or a cell phone to play games on. So definitely I get it when it comes down to that distraction, and that can be an issue. But one thing I do want to ask you about is our agency has a vehicle pursuit policy.
They do.
Right? since you've been the division commander in the traffic division, how are you going about educating them in that within those policy and guidelines?
And since I took over traffic, I'm the leader of our traffic pursuit board.
Okay.
So I get all the pursuits that come in throughout our agency. Me and 5 other deputies will review these, supervisors will review these and look for any inconsistencies in the calling of the pursuit, the traffic of the pursuit, any outside distractions. Are they monitoring, the supervisors monitoring the pursuit?
Right.
Is the pursuit, should it still be active? If they've got the information, do we disregard it?
Right.
So we're going through every one of those steps and making sure that every deputy is following the policy as they need to. If they violate that policy, they are addressed.
Right.
But, for the most part, from the last 5 months that we've been doing this, everybody that we see is following the policy. There may be accidents that are involved with this, but that comes with when you're driving at a high rate of speed.
Right.
You're going to have accidents. We're going to have pits where vehicles are damaged. And, the pit is an extremely useful tool that can end a pursuit before it even really gets started.
Right. Absolutely. I'm glad that you brought that up. Can you explain that a little bit when it comes down to the pit maneuver and the training that is involved in that?
Yeah, the deputies go through an extensive training where they actually pit other vehicles at the Georgia State Patrol Post. They are actually do the pitting, and they are being pitted by another instructor.
Okay.
So they get to see both ends of it. So they know the reactions that will occur on their end and what the other driver may do to evade the pit.
Right.
And done correctly, there's very minimal damage to the patrol cars.
Right.
There are occasions where the violator is just not going to give up, and the cars end up getting rammed and all that. But for the most part, the pit will easily disable a vehicle and end the pursuit within the first 5 or 6 minutes.
Okay. So that's good information, especially when it comes down to how things can go from good to bad very quickly. And it's definitely good information of how we're able to shut it down even before it really gets started.
Right.
But since you've been over in the traffic division, let me just ask this question. How many are under your leadership right now?
Right now, I have 19 that are in the traffic division.
Okay.
I'm slotted 30.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit short, but some of those positions are supervisor positions that are not necessity as at this time. So we're still running our shifts as normal.
That's good.
But the more people we can get in that want to come to traffic, the better.
Hey, look, I like that. Look, that recruiting aspect side of things right there.
It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So. I definitely like you adding that in.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. He'll enjoy that piece, yeah. But what are some of the things you would like to see improved as you are the commander of that division going forward?
I would like to have the opportunity to do more selective patrol.
Okay.
I know Bobby Jones is an issue with the speed of traffic up there. Running laser, we have that opportunity. It's having the manpower, because with the laser you really need 5 or 6, 10 chase cars for the one person running the laser to be very productive. And that gets their attention. When we've run these before, everybody knew don't hit Bobby Jones.
Speed.
Yes. And we had the ability to do that, and that's something I'm going to start implementing again.
So within the school zones, are you seeing any issues there?
Occasionally we do, and then it usually just takes – the crossing guards are good with expressing a problem in the area because they work with us. So if we do find that we're having an issue, we'll set up either a signboard or we'll have a deputy monitor that area and try to write tickets for there.
How have the road checks been going since you've been over there?
The road checks have done really well. Not only getting people using cell phones, people under the influence of alcohol, we'll also find drugs and guns while we do these road checks. So it really, really helps, especially during the hot times of summer where
Right.
things start to kind of heat up as far as violent crimes go, we can use this as a tool to help let our presence be known.
Right.
It's really worked out.
And I noticed that you have under your leadership Deputy Champion. Deputy Champion received an award in regards to the amount of DUI citations he has written throughout
That's correct,
the
yep.
year. So kudos to him on that accomplishment.
The last 3 years in a row, last year and this year, he was number one, and in 2000 he was second place.
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
that's a person who
you
comes
can't
to
be-
work
Exactly.
and works very hard
And-
because he cares about the safety of all drivers.
Right,
That are,
and would work longer if he could.
Yeah.
He definitely would.
Yeah. But how many DUIs are you seeing within a month's time?
On average, probably between 30 to 40 DUIs a month.
Okay.
Yep. And some of those are with wrecks. Majority of them are just traffic stops where we indicate that the driver has been under the influence of either alcohol or drugs.
Okay.
And drugs are starting to become more prevalent now. It used to be that you would just smell the alcohol, but
Right.
now there's so many clues, and people may not realize that they took a prescription medication that tells them not to drive, and then they drive and don't realize how much under the influence they
They
actually are.
actually are, yeah. So are you seeing an uptick or the numbers still the same when it comes down to private property accidents?
Private property accidents are still kind of high. We're working on a solution for those that we don't have to send out manpower to do this. This can be an online report that can be completed, and that'll take a little bit of the workload off of us.
Okay. Well, as we're getting ready to come to the end of our show, I got one last question that I do want to ask you, and that question is as a new driver, someone who's just got their driver's license, probably still in high school or maybe graduating high school, and they're just now about to hit the road with everybody else.
My son,
Yeah.
he's fixing to go get his driver's license.
What are some tips or advice you would give?
Put the phone down.
Yeah.
That is the biggest. Put the phone down, put the seatbelt on, and just pay attention. You have to watch the other driver more than anything else. You have to be that defensive driver. Anything you can do to lessen the possibility of an accident, you avoid that accident.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Lieutenant Adams, I really appreciate you being on the show here with us. And next time we get an opportunity to bring you back, I'm sure you'll have more information to provide. So thank you again.
Thank you.